Welcome, everybody, to the HighSpeed Healing Universe. We have a ton of people here tonight. I love it. It's so great to see the returning members. No, wait, somebody's saying they can't hear me. Raise your hand. Give me thumbs up and love if you can hear me. A lot of people can hear me. So if you can't hear me, it's your device and not me for once. So welcome back if you are a regular member. So good to see smiling faces. You're more than welcome to turn on your camera if you'd like to be seen in the flesh. And if not, that's fine too. And welcome to all the new people who are joining us tonight. It's great to have you. Welcome to an alternate universe where I may be shocking you and shaking you up tonight and hopefully rewiring your circuitry so that you begin to recognize that if you've been suffering from any type of pain, including chronic physical pain, depression, anxiety, trauma from your past or from an accident or an injury, if maybe you've been suffering from insomnia, some kind of migraine headache or binge eating or addiction, and if, whatever you've been suffering from, even if you've had it a long, long time, you're in the right place here. There are solutions that I want you to know about. And in my universe, in our universe, I will never ask you to take a pill, a potion, a lotion to do physical therapy, or give up all the foods you love. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm giving medical advice, so don't misunderstand. This is not medical central here. This is outside the box of conventional thinking. And all of my approach, in fact, if you haven't yet, everybody, you can get a copy of my book, Why Do I Still Hurt? Rapid Relief for Chronic Pain, Depression, Anxiety, Trauma, and More. You can get a free copy for your digital device on my website, or you can go to Amazon if you want an actual book that you hold in your hand. That's where, if you're new to this work, you really want to read the book and get it's a deeper dive into the underlying foundational philosophy that is the basis of all my work, of what I teach. And what you're going to learn in there is also goes hand in hand with the high speed energy healing method that I've been so gifted to bring into the world. And I thank myself every day for that incredible event in my life. Tonight, first of all, I want to just take a moment and ask everyone to close your eyes, as long as you're in a safe space, of course, sitting down. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath into your low belly. And then open your mouth and let out a big sigh. Then relax your low belly and take a breath into your low belly and draw the breath from your low belly up, up, up into your beautiful heart. Hold your breath for a moment at the top. And now open your mouth and let out a sigh and let your whole day, everything you've experienced today, just breathe it out. And feel yourself right here, right now. Feel the chair underneath you. Rub your fingertips together. Feel your body right here and right now. Listen to the sound of your breath as you inhale and exhale. And I want you to be fully present right here with me right now. Past is over. The future isn't here yet. So be right here. And you just may discover and hear something very important tonight. You may have a life-changing moment if you're open to that. And if you are open to that, turn your palms up in a gesture of receiving and being open. And say out loud or silently to yourself, I am open. I am open right now. I'm open to receiving exactly what I need right now. I will hear everything I need to hear, and I am already receiving what I need. And now ask yourself, what drew you to the call tonight? What's the motivator, what moved you to literally click on the link and show up here in my universe tonight? What's one word or one sentence that would describe what called you here tonight? There's something in your soul that called you to take time out of your busy life and show up here. What was that? And when you hear and know what that is, type it in the chat, please. What drew you here tonight? You could be a million other places. Maybe morning where you are. We have people from all over the world. And someone has asked how long the call is. It'll be about 90 minutes, 75 to 90 minutes. And tonight we're going to do a lot of Q&A as well. So you'll have an opportunity to ask me your toughest questions. Some people have emailed incredible questions. I'll choose a few of those. I'll choose from the group tonight as well. So I want you to begin to formulate what has been on your mind about your pain, your symptoms, your suffering. What has been going round and round that you've been trying to figure out, maybe for a long time? What's on your heart, weighing heavy on your heart, that you just can't seem to lift off no matter what you try? I want you to take a moment of quiet right now and listen to the number one question that you have that lies in your mind, in your heart, and in your body, in your spirit. I'm going to give you a moment of silence to listen for that and formulate that. And then I want you to write down and type in the chat, my question is, and fill in the blank. Keep it simple, and I don't need the backstory. My question is, and just type it into the chat when you're ready. So in the HighSpeed Healing Universe, and you probably want a pen and paper handy. There's some key things I want you to understand and write down and think about. Number one, your body tells the story of your life. Number two, no matter how long you have been suffering, the body is designed to heal. Three things. If it's given a safe space with someone there to go through it with you and hold your hand if you fall, and where you can be accountable to that person or that group so that you don't run back to shore, to the safety zone that you've been living in for a long time, which is probably killing you, but it's very familiar and it feels like you know your way around in there. So a safe space with a guide and people to support you, and the tools that you need that are different from what you've tried that hasn't worked. And I suspect that many of you have tried a lot of things. Usually by the time people get to my universe, they tell me they've already gone to conventional medicine, they've been on drugs or some kind of pain pills or some kind of pills. And by the way, when I say pain, all pain is welcome here. It doesn't even have to be physical pain. A lot of people are suffering, I know now more than ever, from anxiety, depression, panic attacks, worry, guilt, shame, remorse. These unresolved emotions are contributing to physical pain, to dis-ease. And they are a big problem in our world. And science is just beginning to see how important the emotions are in terms of contributing to the pain and the problem and the patterns that are going on that affect our health. They affect all areas of our life, but they definitely affect our health and our happiness and our sanity, our mental health, our physical health as well. So I'm sure I'll be touching on that a lot tonight. Already the chat is filled with amazing comments. So Tanya is saying she's here because what moved her to the call is a desire and a determination to not go back to a life of misery. Right. And Allison is saying she's here for my energy and my healing. And Candace is saying she's here, was moved here to be here because she's looking for full recovery. And Kathleen is saying freedom from pain and time for myself. Bravo to you, Kathleen, because it does take carving out time for ourselves. And what I find a lot of times, a lot of the people I work with who've been suffering for years never take time for themselves. That's one of the main reasons that you could be experiencing symptoms, is that your body is trying to get your attention and say, hey, I need a time out. You've been overdoing, overgiving, over busy, distracted, constantly going. And what you want to remember is that in nature, there's periods of activity and periods of rest. And if you don't give yourself quiet periods of rest, if you're always on and going, something will eventually happen that causes you to get out of balance. You may go on like that for a long time. I did for a long time. And eventually the closet will be full, and you will find that everything in nature needs periods of rest, and you've got to take care of yourself, or you will be leaking energy everywhere. And if you're not filling your cup back up, eventually you won't have anything to give. And especially if you don't know how to tap into the unlimited energy source, call it the universe, God, love, the matrix, the divine mind, the field, you call it what you want. All interpretations are welcome here. However, if you are running on personal energy and not source energy, you'll run out of energy. The physical body's energy is limited, and you have to have a connection to the unlimited supply. And that is spiritual, my friends. It's spiritual, it's physics, it's energetics. And if you don't have a connection to that, you will deplete and run out. And that's a lot of the problem that's happening, is everybody's running on steam based on personal power instead of higher power. And we talked about that a lot last week. I'd love to hear how many of you that were here last week have a win, have a success story, had a burning bush or a synchronicity from last week. If anybody from last week had one of those, would you please go down to reactions and raise your hand or give me the thumbs up so I'd love to have you share that with the group. They put the raise hand down under reactions now. So if you look on your computer at the bottom toolbar and it says reactions, you can click on raise hand right there. So if you were here last week and you played and did the homework, all right, I see a hand going up, but whose hand is that? Ooh, I see a bunch of them. Where are they? Let's see. Hang on, let me find those hands going up. Jean and Sonia. All right. Jean, in a moment, I'm gonna unmute you and Sonia, and Allison too. That's awesome. Okay. I'm just gonna go through a couple more of these comments and then we'll circle back and we'll hear some of the wins from last week. And we had a very powerful session. We talked a lot about accessing your higher power, how to connect to that, how to start to create synchronicities and live in a greater sense of flow and ease instead of all that efforting and overdoing and wearing yourself out and then being told you have chronic fatigue syndrome. We create that chronic fatigue from our choices. And all right, let's see here. Paul is saying, I need healing after surgery. That's great. You're in the right place. Good health, chronic stress. Yep. Lots of fear of the new wave of coronavirus. All right. Peace. Anne's looking for peace. June is looking for answers and direction. Quieting my mind after a funeral. Sorry for your loss, Jean. I need stabilizing, and being here helps me with that. I'm so happy to hear that, Lisbeth. Quest to figure out connecting my breath, abdominal support with ease. My question from Marianne is, what do I need to do to resolve my digestive issues? All right. And why do I continue to sabotage myself? Paula asks. These are great questions right out of the gate. Laura's here for healing for my family, especially my son. Linda's saying, how do I heal my intestines and my gut? Well, we've got the theme running already, gut, digestion. Wait, let me make a note here. Usually there's a theme that shows up. And oops, let me plug in my battery so we don't run out of juice. There's often a theme that shows up in the group each week. And it looks like digestion, gut health, abdominal support. All right. And let me look at these other questions. Healing intestines. How to be fully present. Yep. Let go of worry. That's a big one for people right now. Do you know, this is just unbelievable, but they're saying that 1 out of every 2 children right now is having a mental health issue. And we've known for a long time, even before Corona, that 2/3 of all Americans, that's 3 out of every 4 people, of all people in America, were paying money to get help with their stress because it was so over the top. I mean, that's a lot of people. And I suspect now it may be higher, right? Because of all we've been through the last 10 months. How do I help energy flow in me? All right. Why am I struggling with insomnia? How do I stop myself from blaming myself? Yeah, blaming. That's a big one. Why don't I heal? Kevin, I want you to read my book. Please get a copy and read my book and then join my program and we'll work on that with you. Why don't I heal? That's a big question for a lot of people. How do I restore and maintain my vitality, my energy? Yes, Jennifer. What do I need to do to be completely healed? Is Jane. Hi, Jane. It's great to have you on the call. Healing long-standing anger. Hint, hint. That's one of the reasons we don't heal, by the way. Everybody listen up. Long-standing anger, grief, emotional pain. Just a hint here. That's one of the main reasons people don't heal. Unresolved emotions, which I already started talking about, and I'm going to keep circling back to that tonight. How to stay in a high vibration. Hint, hint, release that anger. My question is how to lower cholesterol. Why am I aging recently? Hint, hint. Got any anger going on? You see the theme here? How do I get rid of tinnitus? History of binge eating and bulimia. Okay, that goes back in with the eating questions and the digestion. All right. These are amazing questions, you guys. You know, I could talk for a year about all of these. You're going to have to keep coming back. I will do my best to bring all of it together concisely. How do I get rid of acne? IBS. Hint, hint. Got any anger going on anywhere when that started, or maybe even now? Uh, all right. How and where do I find a safe space to be open to receiving healing, connection to source? Diane, right here is where, right here and in my pain-free living program, that's where it's safe for all the emotions to come up, for all the healing to take place. And the people that have been working with me will tell you that that's where unexpected healing occurs each and every week. I'm happy you're here too, Laura, and really great to always have you. All right, I'm going to take a time. Oh, more gut and digestion issues coming up. Back pain, leg pain, digestion again. I'm not going to talk about the COVID vaccine tonight. Nope, sorry. I want to get ahead. Spinal issues, more digestion and gaming addiction. All right. Wow, there's so much going on here tonight with digestion. All right. Well, I'm going to dive into that very deeply tonight because there's obviously a dominant theme: digestion and gut health and eating disorders, which is related. It's also related to insomnia, so don't worry. It's related to pain, so don't worry. And I will weave all of that together. And it's very much related to why people don't heal. Now, I want to circle back quickly to Jean and ask you to share the win from last week that came about so we can all enjoy it.
Well, it's minor, but for me, it's big.
Minor is major around here. See, I want everyone to listen to what she just said. This is one of the reasons people don't heal. They're focused on what is not working, and they're waiting for the big Hollywood moment, I call it. And so when they have little wins along the way, they just blow it off like it's nothing. And they don't celebrate the wins. And every day there's something to celebrate that's changing. And I keep teaching over and over in my groups that you've got to every day look for what is working, what is thriving, what is a win. And if you start finding those little wins every day, you're going to get more of them, and they build into a big win. And so, Jean, I'm so glad you said that. And let's celebrate your little win, because it's not little. Every little win is a big win.
Little win, I care not to clean. And I just had this inspiration to clean my bedroom like a spring house cleaning. And it felt so good. I mean, I've done it every year, but it just felt different and so good that I've done my kitchen and my bathroom and just organized, and it's a wonderful feeling.
This is fantastic. You know, I will share with the people that are new here tonight that often from the conversations we have in the healing sessions, people become motivated to do things that they weren't even willing to do before. And it happens without, like Jean is saying, they're not forcing themselves to do it. They actually start to want to do it. And why is that? It's the person that asked, how do I stay at a higher vibration? It's because your vibration changes here. When your thinking changes, when your emotion changes, when the people that you surround yourself with changes, when the information you take in changes, when your energy changes from healing sessions with me, your vibration changes to a higher vibration, and you'll be naturally drawn to things that make your life flow and work with ease. And for some people, that means they start to gravitate towards healthier foods that they know they should have eaten a long time ago, but they don't want to. And all of a sudden they want to. Some people end up going to yoga or the gym, and they knew they should exercise, but they couldn't get the willpower and the discipline to do it. And then all of a sudden, after they've worked with me and with the group, they go, wow, I felt like exercising. Because these things, Jean, like cleaning house, when you feel good about yourself and your energy is there, You want to do those things naturally. You want to. And that's what happened to you. Something shifted. You let go of some kind of resistance that probably was weighing you down and you didn't even know it. And you don't need to know what it was, but something lifted and freed up the space and the energy that made you want to clear out even more space. And everybody, when you clear out physical clutter, I'm going to do an entire call on this. It actually, somebody emailed about this as well. I'll do it another time, but clearing out physical clutter will affect your mental clutter, your emotional clutter, and your physical pain. So, yay, Jean. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing it. And Jean's a great example of somebody who's just really willing to work on herself and look at herself. She shows up all the time and she's fully present and she participates. And she's had a lot of wins along the way because of that. And so this one win isn't her only win. I can tell you that. She's had a lot of wins and a lot of change. And there are a lot of people here that they just keep showing up and they're open to different possibilities. They're not crying and staying stuck in the ideas of I'm a victim and nothing will ever change. They are letting go. A lot of the people I work with very rapidly let go of that old idea that you're stuck with something, or that it's all in your head, or that it's incurable and you'll never get rid of it. Those ideas go flying out somewhere into space around here, because you're going to start to see for yourself and know and experience that around here, what people call miracles happen. They're not miracles. They're natural healing outcomes that you haven't learned are natural. We're taught some things, my friends, that absolutely just aren't true. And so stick around this universe and you're going to experience for yourself and witness other people having amazing miracles that aren't possible, but that happen every day around here. Okay, Sonia, unmute, would you, and share your win from last week.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, speak up loudly, would you? Speak up louder.
Oh, okay. Could you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So my win is I set the intention to let go of worry and anxiety, the feeling of anxiety around projecting myself out and worrying about money for one.
Yeah, great.
And I'm self-employed, and
right.
I just been just I've been doing exercises where I release and say yes to my feelings in that moment.
Yes. Yes.
And realize one of the things that you had said that was very profound to me is that that we came to this, the only true fear is the fear of sound, which I've been paying very much attention to, and falling.
Yes.
And that the other fears are made up. It was, man-made in a sense. When I say man-made, mind-made.
Yeah.
And programmed into us already,
right.
as we came here. And so that was very profound. So I said, I'm gonna prove it out to me. That is my intention, to prove out who and what I truly am.
Love it.
So I said, I didn't feel like going to work. I said, everything right now is fine. So I probably took like 3 or 4 days. Well, the next thing I know, the job that I normally go to actually sent me money, unexpected money.
Wow.
Wow. So, I mean, yeah, it was, and see, I like to ask the question, could I let go and see if it gets even better? And could I let go of being so darn smart and allow it to be other than what I think it is?
Yes.
So I was like, okay, well, I said, oh, that's a big gain. It wasn't like you said, the mind would say, oh, but that wasn't very much.
Right.
But the point is, it happened. I proved it. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
The infinite possibility.
Sonia, you are just like, this is so beautiful. I'm so glad everybody's hearing this. You really got it. You really heard me. And you got a demonstration. You manifested a demonstration of the power of your willingness to change your thinking, get out of the future worry, stay present, and think, what's possible here? I'm going to let this be possible. And look what happened. Wow. And then
And not only did it happen once,
yes,
I did it again because I missed some more days. I'm like, hey, I'm the boss. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. The mind is, is going to tell me this and share my experiences that I have. What about this when this happened, blah, blah, blah.
right.
I don't have to change that. But in that moment, I realized I can make a decision where I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes.
And it, I'm okay right here and now.
Right.
And as long as I'm okay right here and now, that's what my decision is going to be based on.
This is so profound. You
So,
really.
And it happened again. I said, could I let go of being so smart? And the next thing I know, they sent me some more money. So it was like, okay, so could it get any better? I'm not ending there. What else is possible?
There you go. I want everyone to hear this and write this down. What else is possible? Not, you hit the nail right in the head. Sonia didn't go, oh God, I wanted $1 million. She didn't belittle the proof of the abundance. She saw it, owned it, claimed it, and then said, now what else is possible? And expanded her ability to receive even more. And was grateful for it and stayed present in the present moment. You really got it, Sonia, in a big way. And that's why you demonstrated it twice. And you know what? It never stops.
It doesn't.
It's
I had another profound miracle where I said, oh, well, he'll never give me the money. And he's, a friend of mine surprised me with giving me more money than I thought that he would ever give me. So it was like, so you constantly prove it out. If I just know that I am a creator and my intention is to prove it out, to prove it out to myself.
Right.
Because I know I am.
Well, obviously you do, and you're practicing it is the main thing. A lot of people think they know it, but they're not demonstrating it because they're really not practicing it. And what you did was, in the moment, you dropped the thoughts that were contrary and you were open to truly experiencing something different. And you didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater and judge it before, it even had a chance to show up. And this is really, really the key. So those of you in the HighSpeed Healing Universe who are members, if you weren't here last week and you did not listen to our call, you want to go into the library and listen to that call. It was a really important week. And it literally, what Sonia is talking about, it's life-changing. Imagine if you continue doing this for the rest of your life. All the things that you're going to not only enjoy and experience and receive, but you're going to feel your true connection to power and true connection to source, and truly live in the present moment in joy. Isn't that what we all want? So, wow, thank you for being here and being willing to share it. It inspires people to know this is possible. And it inspires them more hearing it from you probably than from me. So I appreciate you being willing to speak up. And I'm so happy for you. Really, my heart's very full that you heard me. And I want to go, one thing that she said that I want to make sure everybody hears, because it's really profound that you heard that deeply. Most people live in a lot of fear, but there are only 2 fears that we're born with that Sonia mentioned. One is loud noises, and the other is falling from heights. And guess what? All those other gazillion fears, they're not natural, they're man-made. We learn those fears. Somebody taught us to be afraid of those other things. And I don't know about you, but when I started my healing journey, I had a 3-page list of all kinds of fears. Fear of the unknown, fear of everything. And they were running my life and ruining my life. And so if you really grasp what Sonia just shared, she decided to test that and say that if there's only those two fears and everything else is man-made, conditioned, then when that pops up, I'm going to drop it like a hot rock. And I'm going to change my thinking about it. And look what happened as a result of that. She manifested money all week. I think we all might enjoy that ourselves, right? So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for showing up.
You're the poster girl. All right, and one more from Allison. Allison, you're there. Whoops, I just muted you. Sorry. Unmute yourself again.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
What's your success story?
My success story is that I realized that my insomnia is temporary. It is not a sentence. It is not something that I have to live with, and that I've already made up my mind that this is temporary, that it's going
That's
away.
so weird.
Wait, let me mute everybody, and then I'll unmute you again. Unmute again, Allison. That is the truth right there. Say it again, because there's people on the call today who are suffering from insomnia, and it's a very common suffering. But say that again, because it's the absolute truth.
That it's temporary. It's just a temporary phase that I'm in,
Yeah,
and that I
maybe
will
that's
get through this and get past it. And if I can add as well, I also suffer from tinnitus, and it is also temporary. I firmly believe that these two will pass, and they will pass quicker and easier than I ever imagined.
So I'm going to elevate that if you're willing, to the next level for you right now, if you're willing.
Absolutely.
So you want to be on the lookout for my insomnia will pass, because that puts it in the future. And that means if you're always thinking it will pass, you're keeping it in the future for when it's going to change. But all change occurs in the present moment, right here and right now. So what I'd like to shift in everybody's thinking, if you're willing, is I'd like to ask you to say out loud, it's possible for me right now to completely release what I've been calling insomnia. You willing to say that out loud now?
Absolutely.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Say it out loud and see how that feels.
It's possible
you.
for me to
I have
complete.
a question.
Hang on. Would everybody please
What
mute
is your ice
yourselves?
situation at your
Mute
house?
yourselves, please. There's somebody unmuted and we can hear the background noise. Thank you. All right, Allison.
It's possible for me to completely release insomnia right now.
There we go. Say it again.
It's possible for me to completely release insomnia right now.
Say it again.
It's possible for me to completely release insomnia right now.
Now, can you take that in? Does it feel like truth to you?
Absolutely.
And how does it feel in your body?
I felt like I just had a shot of adrenaline or a shot of something just jolt through my body just now saying that.
Yeah, it's a higher vibration than what you were saying before, and it brings it present. And remember, everybody, all power is in the present moment. And by the way, you guys, see, this is going to blow your mind, all of you. You don't need healing. Nobody here needs healing. Yes, you heard me say that. So then what do you need? You need to release what's standing in the way of your natural state, which is health and energy and deep sleep and peace of mind and comfort and ease. We need to release, declutter, get rid of what's cluttering our natural state. So Allison, more will be revealed. I know you're in my pain-free living program now, and more is going to be revealed each time we work together. And each time you participate like this, and everybody else, the same is true. You're going to start to go, oh my God, I didn't see that before. I didn't hear that before. And you're going to recognize There's clutter, and that's the only problem. And as you let go of the things you've been holding on to and keeping in that back drawer that you don't really need, and pushing under the bed and putting in the closet, and it's time to throw it out, just like Sonia did, everything can change instantly.
Yes.
So thank you, Allison. I'm so glad you brought that up. It's a great topic. I'll do another call on insomnia again in the future, because there's so many people suffering and taking sleep aids and drugs and having side effects from all of that and feeling loopy in the morning and tossing all night. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
And there's one more statement that I'd like you to say out loud, if you will, and everybody else wants to say this as well, but it will apply to whatever you've been struggling with. So it doesn't have to just be insomnia, but I want everyone to say out loud to yourself, every day, in every way, it's possible for me to get healthier and happier and live with greater ease. Every day, in every way, it's possible for me to live with greater health, greater ease. Does that sound good, Allison?
Oh, absolutely. I was writing it down. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Every day in every way, it's possible for me to get healthier and live with greater ease.
Yeah. And for you specifically, you may want to say out loud, every day in every way, it's possible for me to sleep like a baby.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, look, I don't want to give the impression that what we do here is just say positive affirmations all day. That's not it. But your word is a vibration. Speech, language, words are vibration. And guess what? Everything is vibration. Everything is energy. Energy is vibration. So if you think you need or want energy, you've got to become aware of your language that you're speaking, because you may be working against yourself. Most people are saying out loud the very things that are depleting their own energy, and they don't know it. Their language, oh, here it is again. Why is something always happening to me? Why do I always hurt myself? Why am I still in pain? Why does it hurt? Why can't I get rid of anything? See, that is a heavy statement with a vibration. Everything you say carries a frequency, carries a vibration. What are you saying? And guess what? What are you saying out loud? But what are you saying to yourself in here? You're talking all the time. You're saying something all the time. Those 90,000 thoughts that you have every day, and yes, they know from science, the average person thinks 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. Those are vibrations. You're creating your world, your body, and your life by the thoughts and the emotions and the speech. If I were to freeze and stop time, would I be experiencing a high vibration if I were listening to what was going on in your head? Or would I find that that was a heavy vibration that would lead to sickness, pain, suffering, symptoms? If you were to just stop at any given moment throughout the day, would what you are thinking about and saying out loud, would it be what you really want to create? Or is it what you don't want to create? I really want you to listen to what I just asked you and start to be observant of yourself throughout the day. If I were to set off an alarm and stop at any particular moment throughout your day, is what you are thinking what you would want to be creating if your thoughts could manifest instantly? Most people that I work with would not want to manifest what they're thinking about. But that's contributing to the problem. Are you guys with me? If you're with me, give me some thumbs up here, some hearts, some something. So I know you're following. Yeah. Every day, in fact, every moment, any moment, this moment, it's truly possible that absolutely everything in your life can shift and change. I've had people in the very first call and in the very first week of my pain-free living program who had been suffering for years literally end up pain-free. Eye disease is gone, all kinds of symptoms gone. How is that possible? I'll tell you how. Because your body is a vibrational pattern. And that pattern doesn't just happen by itself. It comes from a combination of your thinking and your emotions. Your thoughts generate those emotions, and your emotions generate more thoughts. And so the thoughts create the emotions, and the emotions generate more thoughts, and you go round and round and round the merry-go-round. And this is why the more you think, the worse it gets, not the better it gets. Because if your best thinking is in the wrong direction, or if it's all focused on the pain and the symptoms, you're going to get stuck and you're going to feel blocked. You're not blocked. You're going to feel blocked and stuck. You're not stuck and you're not blocked. You just have a blind spot, and you need higher thinking. And your best thinking is keeping you on that merry-go-round. So we must change our thinking. And when your thinking changes, your emotions change as well. And your body's telling the story of your thoughts and your emotions. Your body, by the way, is basically showing you your mind. So those of you that say, well, how do I know what's in my unconscious mind? Look at your body and look at your life. Your physical life and your physical body manifest what you believe to be true about yourself, your body, your health, your life. It's the physical expression of what you believe to be true. So I want to now focus all of this in terms of digestion and gut health and why so many people suffer. Your gut, all right, put your hand on the area below the navel. Your gut is your second brain. Quite frankly, I believe it's the first brain, but we'll let the heart be the first brain and the gut be the second brain. And we're not even talking about this organ in your head. The organ in your head is like the computer, but the heart and the gut are what's telling the computer what to show you, what to bring up, what to do. And we live in a world that doesn't trust our gut instinct, that doesn't trust our heart at all. The heart is connected to the emotions, the gut is connected to the emotions. And we live in a world that says, think about it, and think about it more and harder and more often, and then Google it, and then think about it more, and then check the research and Google it again and think about it harder and longer and more, instead of, how does it feel? How do I feel? What is my gut telling me about this? And this could be a food, a person, a job, a decision, a house that I live in, a place I want to go to. Your gut and your heart give you the answers to every question that you have, to every choice, every decision that you make. But if you go only to your left brain, linear, logical, reasoning, analytical mind, you're going to find you probably have some gut issues, some health issues, and some worries and doubts and indecision and overwhelm and confusion, and that you make some mistakes and say, God, I wish I hadn't done that. Who's with me? Your being is very, very wise, and your body is giving you feedback that, and your body doesn't lie. Now, some of the things you learned may be true, and some of them may not be true. Some of the things you learn may be true, but they may not be healthy and good for you, even though they may work for somebody else. It doesn't make it bad, what you learned, but it may not be serving you. But your gut and your heart will never lie to you. There's innate wisdom in the very nature of your being. All nature has innate wisdom. That's how the acorn knows to turn into an oak tree. The acorn follows its innate wisdom, its nature, its blueprint. It follows its blueprint. It doesn't argue with it. It doesn't resist it. It doesn't try to look different like some other tree. It follows it and it becomes what it's designed to be, an oak tree. And it fully expresses that to the best of its ability, according to the blueprint. Guess what? You are part of nature and you have a blueprint. Here's the difference. Man was given free will. We can choose to follow our blueprint or not follow it. When we don't follow it, you will get a feeling in your gut that something's wrong or off. Has anybody ever had that feeling when you're about to go do something and some part of you is like, I don't know about this. Something doesn't feel right here. Or have you ever had a person, I see the heads nodding, Deborah's getting it. Maybe you have a person, a relationship, and you want to fall in love with this person, but something tells you, ooh, something's wrong here. And I don't know what it is, because on paper, this person looks like perfect. Or you've got a job, you apply for a job, and you think this is going to be the greatest job you'll ever have in your life. But you go for the interview and you're there and you don't know why, but something doesn't feel good to you. That's called your blueprint, your GPS, your inner GPS, your gut instinct. It's talking to you. And you may start to feel your body tense up, get tight, feel heavy, feel like you can't take a deep breath. You may feel uncomfortable, dis-ease with a person, a situation, a choice, an opportunity, a thought. You need to pay attention to these clues. They're talking to you for a reason, everybody. And this is your nature. You were given this nature for a reason. You're part of nature. But because we have free will and we have such highly developed intellect, we've learned to try and override the nature of the heart and the gut and do what you were taught is the smart thing to do. Now, I did that in my early life for many years, and it almost killed me because I tried to turn off my instincts. And the only way I could turn them off, and, because eventually what happens if you start turning off your instinct is your gut gets worse. You start to feel more and more uncomfortable. Everything's irritating, inflammatory. Everything seems to set you off or trigger you. You have these issues. You don't know what's happening. You go to the doctor. They say nothing's showing up on a medical test. No clue what's wrong with you. Maybe it's all in your head. You're just stressed. They can't find it because it's deeper than physical. And if you do it long enough, like I did, it got so in my face, and I kept trying to stop the discomfort through drugs, alcohol, sleeping, eating, binge eating. Those of you here tonight with binge eating, or starving myself, trying to control the food piece, gambling, shopping, sexing, anything will work. They all are drugs. They're drugs. And they numb you out for a minute, from the discomfort that's trying to help you, to tell you that you're off track. But we don't want to know. We want what we want when we want it. And we want to deny the reality that's talking to us. And we want to stop it and get rid of it. And guess what? Your pain is your friend. There's a message in your pain. Write that down. There's a message in your pain. And remember, fill in the blank with any kind of pain. I don't mean just physical. If you have an abusive relationship and you break up, and then you work on yourself and you get back into another relationship, and there it is again. There's a pattern running that's painful. That's your pain. Painful patterns are pain. And there's something that you're not seeing, a blind spot, and you're not listening to, that's a gut reaction. That, like, I did that for years too. I wanted to make people be the way I wanted them to be. So I kept an illusion about them, and I pretended not to see certain things and hear certain things and feel certain things with certain people in my life. I pretended it wasn't happening when it was, until it got louder and bigger and in my face and more abusive, until I couldn't deny it because it hurt too bad. Don't do that. Save yourself time and pain. I did it for you. Trust me. Like, learn from my mistake. So who's with me? A few of you. All right. Everything can heal, but you want to become aware of what you're doing that's participating in the problem. And this is where we go south. Because what do we do with gut? We go to the doctor, and they say, well, eliminate these foods. It's probably gluten, sugar, dairy. Take it out. And then if you're and I'm not saying, look, some of you might be gluten intolerant and need to give up gluten. If it works, great. But I'm speaking to those of you who went gluten-free, went sugar-free, went dairy-free, went everything free, and you're living on air and broccoli and your stomach still hurts. There's something wrong with that formula. And that's because it's not about the food. Those of you that can't open the bag of chips without eating the whole bag. Maybe you're even binge eating healthy food, but you can't stop eating. And then you want to go throw up because you're afraid of losing weight. So you've got a cycle running, a pattern running. It's painful. I did that for years. It could kill you. It kills people. You damage your organs. Maybe you tell yourself, I'm not going to go to the casino again. But then you find yourself going, and I'm just going to do this one slot machine. Or I'm just going to have this one drink. And then 10 drinks later, there you are again. Passed out, sick, vomiting, broke. You see, these are patterns that can change, but not if you don't see how you're participating. And let's go back to let's backtrack. What happens before that bag of cookies? What happens before you go to the casino, before you smoke the cigarette, before you pick up the drink, the drug, before you binge or purge? What happens is that you had some feelings you didn't want to feel. You had some thoughts running through your head that you weren't comfortable with, and you couldn't shut your head up. That mind was chattering. Maybe it was beating you up about something, some kind of guilt from the past, or some kind of future scary story that you were terrified of, and you just wanted to distract yourself from that. Maybe something happened that was shocking in your life, and you couldn't digest it. It was too shocking. Maybe you came home and found that your husband had been cheating on you. Maybe you lost your job and you didn't know that was going to happen. Maybe somebody died from COVID, or you your business crumbled and you didn't know how to digest life, the pain of life. Maybe you live with a toxic, negative, never stop being negative, critical parent or spouse or roommates. These things are toxic to you. They will affect you. We have to learn how to digest life. And I don't know about you, but nobody taught me how to digest life. I grew up looking around and thinking everybody got a handbook and I didn't get it. I felt so like I just couldn't figure out, how do I get happy like these people look so happy, right? Some people are shaking their head. I know you get it. I just felt like a fish out of water. Not all the time. When I was really young, I think I had a period where I felt really free, but that got stifled. And I know how, because the environment, remember I said you had to have a safe environment where you felt free and safe to be yourself and you felt loved. That environment that I was in became when I was young, became very critical and judgmental, and certain emotions weren't allowed, like anger. No, don't bring that anger here. You had to be smiling and happy and put on this smiley face. You had to show up when company came over and tell all the good stories about what was going great. You couldn't tell that. I couldn't tell the truth about how I felt. I couldn't cry when I was hurting. I was told to grow up, get over it, be an adult, act like an adult. And eventually I shut down a lot of my emotions. Well, you don't shut down emotions because emotions are energy, and energy doesn't die. It goes somewhere, and it either goes out and explodes all over people, which I did. I'm not proud of it, but I did. Or it implodes and it harms yourself. Or you learn to medicate with it and shove down those chocolate chip cookies till you want to throw up and you're not thinking about the other problems, right? This is what is really going on. And so Kathleen is asking, how do you digest everyday life in a healthy way? If you want to heal, you must learn to feel. You must understand that all emotions they're healthy. All emotions. It's appropriate at certain times that anger is going to come up. It's appropriate to be sad and grieve at times. It's appropriate to feel annoyed or irritated. It's appropriate to feel joy and excitement. It's appropriate to feel fear sometimes. Emotions are like Crayola crayon boxes. There's however many colors in there. All the colors are good. They're not bad colors. They're different colors. Think of it like weather. Emotions are like weather. Is a stormy day a bad day? Is a sunny day a bad day? Is when the weather changes, it's not good or bad, right or wrong. It's changing weather. I want you all to start thinking about your feelings as changing weather and take the judgment off of those emotions, because that's what's causing a lot of your problems and your pain and your patterns. You're not releasing emotions, you're stuffing them like I did. And when the closet's full, you'll explode. You'll do something inappropriate. It'll come out sideways as a symptom, as a physical pain, as a problem, or you'll blow up on somebody. You'll do something that you would never think that you could ever do. See, people confuse anger, for example, with violence. Anger is not violence. Violence is a behavior. Anger is a feeling, an energy. If you feel it and let it release, you won't act in a violent manner. But if you pretend you're not angry, or you deny the anger, you suppress, repress it, eventually it's going to get built up and built up and built up, and you're going to want to do something with it because it feels like you're being squeezed like a tight girdle. This is what happens when you don't know and you don't own and you judge how you're feeling. And if you are uncomfortable feeling by yourself, which is why a lot of people go numb, by the way, one of the people that wrote in this week said, why am I numb? I have numbness in my legs, my body, my hands, and my feet. In every case that I've ever worked with where somebody had numbness, they had been numbing out their emotions for years. They had been literally trying to turn off their feelings, and they lost feeling in their body. And when we started to work together and they felt safe, these emotions started to come up. I'm famous for creating an emotional tsunami. I mean, it happens all the time in the universe and in the pain-free living program. It really happens every week for people. They're not expecting it, but that's what needed to come up. And they've been holding it down and holding it down and holding it down. And then when they're in a safe space, a part of them knows, oh my God, I'm safe. It's okay for it to come up now. And they don't even realize it's going to happen, but it comes up and it releases. And it can happen during the HighSpeed healing sessions as well. And it's not, you don't have to be afraid it's going to last forever. In fact, emotions, they've done studies. Are you ready for this? The average emotion, it lasts a whopping 90 seconds. The average emotion lasts 90 seconds. Now, I would put my money down that most of you who know that you've been stuffing emotions, you think it's going to last forever and you don't want to feel it. So you try to keep it down there because you think if it comes up, you're never going to stop crying. It's never going to stop. You're going to feel out of control. You won't be able to function. And that's why you try to keep it down. A lot of people tell me that. I felt that way. So what I want to encourage you to do is reach out for more support from me or from somebody that you trust so that you start to get this stuff moving, because the energy of those emotions is probably 90% of the problem. Now, a lot of you though have thoughts that are generating the emotion. So some of you have to be more on the lookout for the thought patterns that you have. If you're always thinking, I'm never going to get well, my mother had this, the doctor told me it's incurable, I'm stuck. That is going to lead to a problem. We've been talking about that a lot today. Think back to what Sonia said. She changed her idea about money. And she had 3 demonstrations in 1 week of unexpected money coming to her because she changed her thinking about money. So you want to examine your thinking about your body, your life, your relationships, your health. You've got to change your thinking and you're in charge of that. And again, if you need help with that, that's what I teach in the Pain-Free Living program. We go into that in depth. Let's see, Diana's saying, my mother said once that if she started crying, she would never stop. That's my point. And she's asking, did I take that on? Well, only you will know, Diane. Do you resonate with that? Do you try to stop yourself from crying? Do you let yourself grieve appropriately? How do you feel when you cry? I watch people every day in my program, and the minute they start to cry, you know what they do right away? They go like this. They go, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. They are embarrassed and ashamed of crying when it's actually a very healthy, natural thing to do. And in fact, tears release toxins. And every animal releases toxins through tear ducts. God gave you crying for a reason. So, let me just check the chat. How does one deal with toxic people? Well, let's put it this way. You can't change other people, but people are only toxic to you if A, you resonate with what they're saying on some level or what they're doing, if you take it personally, if you're not really clear on who you are and they're saying something about you that you resonate with, They could call you the worst thing in the world, but if you don't believe it's true, then you're not going to react to it. And I use this, it's a silly example, but it works. If I say to you, for example, DJ, if I said to you, you have purple polka dotted skin and it's so ugly, you would probably just laugh in my face. Why? Because you know you don't have purple polka dotted skin. You know you don't have it. But if someone says to you, you know, you're really not very smart, or you're really not very pretty, or you're really just not very good at this, and you believe that on even the smallest amount of that, you believe that to be true, or if they say to you, you know, you're never going to get healthy, or you're never going to find the love of your life, and you believe that to be true, you resonate with that idea, you will feel bad and you will try to blame it on that person, when it's really that person is a gift, because they're showing you what you believe to be true and where your weak link is in your own chain. And when you work with yourself and you get your thinking right and your emotions right, on the right track, they can say whatever they want. It won't bother you. And what often happens, those people disappear and they drop out of your experience because you don't resonate with it anymore. Your world is a reflection of your thinking and your emotional habits. Think about that. What if the whole world were for you, not against you, and it was talking to you all the time, trying to show you what you believe? What if that were possible? Then instead of hating what you're seeing and hearing, play with that this week. And everything that you see and hear, think about, what could I learn from that about myself? Stop all blame, including blaming yourself. There's no self-blame, no blame allowed. Blaming will keep you stuck, completely stuck. And so the person and the people that are asking about getting, you know, how do I deal with toxic, negative people? First of all, blaming won't work. You will be stuck forever. I want you to look at it differently, look out a different set of glasses and say, what in me is bothered by that? What do I believe to be true that bothers me about that? What they said or what they did? Where have I heard that before? Where have I felt this before? You may find that a lot of it relates to something that happened to you as a child. You may or may not, but in a lot of cases, you'll find it relates back to, it reminds you of what your mother used to say or do, or your father used to say or do, or that old boyfriend used to say or do. Like, ask yourself, who else did this? Or how do I do this to myself? A lot of times we dislike in other people what we actually do to ourselves, and we're not even aware we're doing it. And we may be doing it to other people too. So, like I said earlier, I grew up with a lot of criticism. And so I found myself later in life, I judged everybody. I had a voice in my head. I wasn't even listening. I was so busy judging that I was talking about them in my head. When I'd be with people or in a group or in a relationship, I was finding fault with them. I learned to do that. And so I wasn't present. I was never at peace. And I certainly wasn't having intimacy because I was too busy judging. And I didn't feel like I connected, because you can't connect when you're always judging, because judging separates you from people, places, events. So those of you that could relate when I said I didn't feel like I fit in, be on the lookout for the judgmental, critical mind, because separation is what keeps us feeling separate. If you want to feel connection, you want to look for what is similar. And I guarantee you, I don't care who it is or where you are, you could be in a foreign land where you don't speak the language and you don't know anyone, and you could find something in common with everybody there. everyone you meet or see or talk to. I don't care if it's just that, look, they're wearing the same color shirt. You can find something in common with everyone. And if you start to practice that little thing, and you make that a habit, you're going to feel more connected everywhere all the time. And wow, you talk about feeling the love, it's going to start to flow in your life. You want to feel your gut relax? Start to find connection and union with the people in your world, the people you watch or listen to, the foods you eat. I bet you a lot of you that have gut issues probably have a lot of ideas about the foods you're eating. Oh, that's not healthy. Oh, that inflames my gut. Oh, that's going to set me off. Oh, that's going to bother me. Oh, see, we have ideas and fears about food, and your thoughts about the food are more powerful than the food. Think about that this week. Before you eat anything, I want you to do two things. Number one, I want you to stop and close your eyes and feel into your body and ask yourself, am I really hungry? Or am I having an uncomfortable emotion that I don't want to feel? And that one thing alone will change your life if you do that. The second thing I want you to do is, if you decide, yes, I'm hungry, it's time to eat and nourish my body. I want you to think of food as nourishing. And I want you to sit down before you eat, and I want you to look at the food and find the beauty in the food. Find the beauty in the shapes, the textures, the colors, the life force energy. Think about all the people it took to get that meal to your table. Somebody had to grow it and package it, get it to a store. Somebody had to get it to your kitchen. Somebody had to prepare it and turn it into the meal you're about to eat. It's a lot that went into that meal. There's a lot to be grateful for there. And it's back to how we started the call, with celebrating the small wins. You want to celebrate the small things every day like this, particularly if you have food issues, digestive issues, gut issues, and you don't have a good relationship with food. You've got to repair that relationship with the food. And generally speaking, most people eat every day, right? So if that's a relationship you're living with every day, that's a full-time relationship. And if you want it to be healthy, you've got to develop a healthy relationship with it. So again, remember, you are part of nature. Food is part of nature. Nature out there and nature, they get along. Everybody plays its part. They're not fighting each other. They follow the blueprint. How can you better follow your blueprint, everybody? Where are you right now? Put some comments in the chat. How are you not following your blueprint? And how can you better follow your blueprint? Where do you know you're not listening? Now, DJ's asking a question I also want to cover in a moment. I'll give you a chance to write down. How are you following or not following your blueprint? I'm going to do another call on addictions and abuse. So you're going to want to come back, everybody, because I can't cover everything in one call. And it's already, I don't even know where the time went. That was just like one big long run-on sentence. But he's asking, what if the person is an abusive drug addict? Did I attract this? Now, I really, really want you all to stop what you're doing and listen to me. Do not blame yourself for anything or others for anything. I'm not condoning abuse or addiction. And I'm not saying that, I'm not telling you to stay or don't stay. It takes two to tango. You're there because you're learning something that you need to learn. And they are a teacher in your life. I'm not condoning abuse and addiction. I'm not telling you to live with it. I'm not telling you what to do, but I am saying you want to pay attention and notice how you feel and ask yourself important questions about everything we've been talking about today. What are you ignoring, denying, suppressing, and repressing? What are you accepting that's unacceptable to you? What is your nature telling you that you're not listening to? And are you trying to change someone else to turn them into who you want them to be? You cannot change other people. And let me tell you, I'm a recovered drug addict and alcoholic. Nobody could have ever convinced me to stop until I was ready. You could have hit me over the head with a hammer. Nope, not going to happen. And I have a degree in chemical dependency counseling. I've worked in many treatment centers. And I will say this, alcoholics and addicts are the most strong-willed people I've ever met in my life. And so again, there's a flip side that's a positive about that. But when they're in the throes of addiction, it is very challenging. So again, that's a whole nother conversation. But you can't digest abuse. That's like eating poison. So ask yourself why you're eating poison. If you are the one thing I will say is if you're in a relationship where someone is literally physically and emotionally abusing you, you need to get the hell out of there. You don't deserve, I don't care what you've done wrong. Maybe you really are doing stuff that's wrong, bad, but nobody deserves to be beaten physically and emotionally and hurt, even if you're doing something quote unquote wrong. You need to get in a safe space, and you're never going to figure it out till you get in a safe space, get the support you need, get the help you need, and work a program that helps you to heal. And we do that in my pain-free living program, and you are more than welcome to come in there and work on this, and I will help you. Living with abuse is self-abuse, quite frankly. So I feel strongly about that. But it's not your fault. All right. Great comments in here about how you're denying your blueprint. Great comments. I don't know how to bring what I want forward without upsetting a lot of people. You have to look at why you're so concerned about upsetting everybody else. Are you putting their needs ahead of your own? That's what happens when people say that to me. You're living with a belief that other people's needs are more important than your own. And at some point in your life, Lori, you're going to have to recognize this is your life to create the way that works for you. But if you think that everybody else, first of all, you're not responsible for other people's feelings. It's not your business. People can feel however they want to feel. That's their privilege, their right. So you're not responsible for other people's feelings. You affect them, yes, and they affect you. But you're in charge of your own feelings, and you're in charge of your own life. But if you make yourself a slave and a victim, then you will be. It's just, really, that's the case. So you've got to give yourself the get out of jail card free. That comes from you. No one can give you that. If you haven't, you may have the key right there, but you're not opening the door. Jennifer is saying ignoring self-care in favor of caring for pleasing others. Exactly what I'm talking about. That's a big one. And it's what I found is one of the main reasons that people are manifesting physical pain, plus depression. And it can be numbness, it could be insomnia, it could be a million things. But a lot of times when people come to me with chronic pain, this is one of the biggest culprits, and that's ignoring self-care, overgiving, overdoing, and not taking care of yourself because you're trying to please everybody else. It is not healthy. Lillian is asking, is there somewhere I can find an outline of a blueprint? Interesting question. So everyone's blueprint is unique. I want you to look at your thumbprint, everybody. Look at your thumb. Everyone is born with a different thumbprint. Everyone has a unique blueprint that only you can fulfill. Lillian, the answer to your question is you have to get to know yourself. You have to develop the most important relationship there is, and that's your relationship with you. Your answers are inside of you, your blueprint's inside of you. And that's where you probably need some help from someone like myself or somebody that can help you, not tell you what to do and who to be. I don't want that job. That's not my responsibility. I want to draw out of you who you are. You already know, but nobody's helped you access and trust that. That's where your question comes from. Your blueprint comes from your feeling nature, your gut and your heart that I've been talking about tonight. That's how you find your blueprint. Every moment of every day, everybody here, listen, every moment of every day, your blueprint reveals itself to you by how you feel and whether your instinct says, that's for me, or, oh my God, ugh, and you tense up and you tighten up and you can't breathe and you get all afraid. You have to learn to love and honor and respect your body, which is nothing more than a big feedback machine, and it's always giving you the answers. You have to listen. And you have to take quiet time to listen. So if all day you're on social media or you're watching the news or you're just rushing around helping everybody else, you're probably out of touch with your own inner blueprint. It requires getting to know yourself just like you would a friend that you want to spend time with, a lover, a mate. You would spend time with that person. Are you doing that with yourself? That's the advice I'll give you tonight. All right, I'm aware of the time. And so I want to just quickly before we go say, look, we've covered a lot tonight, but there's obviously, this is a deep rabbit hole. And so those of you that want to go down the rabbit hole deeper, I do recommend you come and check out my pain-free living program, or you come and become a member of the universe if you're not already a member. And if you are a member, you come back again and again, and you go into the library and make sure you listen to every call, because everything I teach connects with everything else. And even though tonight we focused on digestion, it fits with everything else I'll teach about something else. There are underlying principles that run through like a thread through everything I teach and share with you. And it takes repetition to really have it go deep in. So you want to keep coming back. You want to stay in the universe. You want to hear it. You want to write things. You want to keep a journal. You want to do the homework that I give you. You want to share in the Facebook group with other people and talk about what's coming up. You see, what you consistently do a little bit every day is what's creating your life. So the more consistent you are, the quicker and the deeper that all of this is going to show up in your body, in your health, and in your life. If you just do it every now and then, I mean, it's great and it's better than nothing. But like if you leave this call and you go turn on the news and then you go gossip with your girlfriend and talk judgment about your friends, you're going to undo everything we did. And if you practice that kind of stuff and you clutter up your life and your rooms and your house and your mind and your body with junk, you're going to, garbage in, garbage out is what they used to say. Literally, garbage in, garbage out. So what are you putting in? Because what you put in is what's going to come out. And if all of you here, and I know all of you here, you want energy, you want vitality, you want life, you want joy, you want to have fun, you want to enjoy your life and have peace of mind, right? Then you got to put health in, and then health comes out. And that involves three things: the thinking mind, the habits of thought, the habits of emotion, and your energy field, which is what I'll help you do in the Pain-Free Living program. And then the second week of every month in the HighSpeed Healing Universe. Second week of every month, I think it is. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what I do. So look at my calendar. The second week of every month, once a month, I'll do a healing session in the HighSpeed Healing Universe for all the members. So if you're not a member yet, it's a great thing to join. And if you really want to go deep and get it fast track, come into the Pain-Free Living program. And if you have questions about any of it, just email. Go right in. I'll put in the chat so everyone can see it, that you can go to www.internationalcpi.com. That's the website. And you can go to cpi.com HSHU if you want to become a member of this. We meet every week, every Wednesday. But inside the portal, there's a library of all the previous videos. There's a lot of other things in there. There's my meditation course. There's just a lot of stuff in there that you can have access to when you become a member. And we have a Facebook group as well. And then if you want to check out what the Pain-Free Living program is about, go to PFLP and you can read about that there. And then just email us with any questions you have. But it's a real honor. Thank you all so much for being here. There's more people now on the call than there were when we even started. That's amazing. And that means that everybody stayed. And I'm just so touched by that and honored and appreciate you all so much for taking time out of your life to show up here. Just know how much I love you. I really care. I can't stand when people suffer because I know there's a way out and that I have those tools and I love sharing them. So please keep coming back. There's lots of free calls all the time. I do interviews. There's lots of ways you can access this. If money's a challenge, I get it. But Sonia, go back and listen to the replay and listen to what Sonia said, because I'm telling you, all of you say to me, oh, I can't afford it. Oh, money's an issue. I get it. I had to declare bankruptcy in my life. I was dead broke and in full of debt, okay? Because I had to learn that money is energy. And we're going to have another call on money, just about money, because everything I teach applies to money. There's no shortage of money, and it can come out of nowhere because money's everywhere present. It's energy and it's unlimited. So stop using that as an excuse and do what Sonia did and say, what if it's possible for me to find money, receive money, have enough, have more than enough? All right, so I'll end on that note and just say thank you so much. I love you all, and thank you for all the thank yous in the chat, and keep coming back and have a fabulous rest of the day or night wherever you are. And I don't want to go. All right, bye everybody.